Hello and welcome to the gameplay tutorial for Goblins and Glory. Before you can start your game, you must choose the cards you will be using. You can use any number of heroes, armor, weapons, and skills when creating your layout. If you're not familiar with the mechanics of the game, there is a risk that you could create an imbalanced layout. So I would recommend starting with one of our pre-made layouts listed on page 14 of our instruction manual. For this tutorial, I will be using the first game pre-made layout. For a faster first game, I recommend not playing with dragons, but I'll be including them for the tutorial. Each player is given 7 power-up cards and 3 goblin cards as their starting deck. Shuffle these 10 cards together to create your draw pile and draw the top 5 cards into your hand. Once each player has their first hand drawn, each player, in turn, recruits a hero to their play area. This hero is recruited for free, but future heroes must be recruited with XP. Each player may recruit a total of 3 heroes to their team. For this tutorial, I'm going to recruit the Archer hero. Looking at my starting hand, I had very bad luck and drew all 3 of the Goblin cards in my deck and only 2 power-up cards. This might set some heroes back for a turn, but my Archer has a base power of 3, which will help quite a bit in a situation like this. I play my 2 power-ups on my Archer for a combined power of 5, which is enough to defeat an Orc monster. Now I have to choose to collect the Orc as XP or as Glory. Since it's so early in the game, I choose to collect the Orc as XP, placing it in my XP bar below my heroes in my play area. I can use XP to gain other cards to help me fight more powerful monsters. Now that I have completed my attack, I discard all cards played on my Archer to the discard pile and continue my turn. At this point, I have to make a decision. Do I spend my XP now or save up for more powerful cards? I could spend the 2 XP I earned from the Orc I defeated to buy Mithril Armor. This is a powerful armor card that gives the equipped hero 2 more power and also allows me to draw 2 cards when I play it on a hero. Alternatively, I could choose to save the XP I just earned to purchase a more powerful equipment card or to recruit my second hero once I gain more XP. For this tutorial, I'm going to purchase the Mithril Armor now, which I place in my discard pile. I return the Orc card to the supply after spending my XP. You can purchase any number of cards with a single buy action, but you cannot make change. For example, you could use a Minotaur to purchase a Mithril Armor, but since the Minotaur is worth 3 XP, the 1 extra XP is wasted. I recommend trying to have the right amount of XP so you don't waste any. However, there may be times when getting the right card in the right situation is worth losing the extra XP. Since I don't currently have any other heroes, I can't make more attacks. I already spent my XP to gain a new card and don't have any other cards I can play from my hand. Stupid goblins. So I'm ready to end my turn. I discard any remaining cards in my hand and draw 5 new cards. This ends my turn and passes play to the next player. At this stage of the game, the turns will be relatively fast and simple, but let's take a look at a more complicated turn later in the game. My Archer hero has served me well and helped me gain enough XP to recruit a second hero. I chose the Barbarian, who gains more benefit from power-up cards than other heroes. At the end of my last turn, I had some bad luck since I drew 2 of my Goblin cards again. However, I also drew my Mithril Armor card, which will help me out. I started out by equipping my Archer with the Mithril Armor, which allows me to draw 2 more cards. I draw 2 more power-up cards for a total of 4. My Barbarian gets twice the power from power-up cards as other heroes. If I play all 4 on him, I'll be at a total power of 8, which is great, but also a little frustrating because it's more than what I need to defeat an Orc, but not enough to defeat a Minotaur. Let's see what I can do. My Archer is at 5 power now that he has the Mithril Armor equipped, so I choose to fight and defeat an Orc. I collect the Orc as XP and discard all cards on my Archer to the discard pile. I think I can give my Barbarian the boost he needs with a Scavenged Sword. I purchase a Scavenged Sword, which, according to the card text, allows me to gain it to my hand instead of the discard pile. I play the Scavenge Sword immediately and all 4 of my power-up cards onto the Barbarian, which puts him at a combined power of 12. This is enough to defeat a Minotaur, which I collect as XP. Unfortunately, I have to abandon the Scavenge Sword after attacking with it, which means I have to return it to the supply instead of discarding it. I discard the rest of my cards on the Barbarian and am ready to end my turn. I discard any remaining cards in my hand and draw 5 new cards from the draw pile, which ends my turn and passes play to the next player. Now let's take a look at a much later turn in the game. I've been fighting monsters, recruiting heroes, and buying equipment to make them all stronger. I have my trusty archer, my aggressive barbarian, and I've rounded out my team with a bard. Once again, I've had some bad luck and drew all 3 of my goblin cards. I also drew one of my strongest cards, Power Attack, but it needs a weapon equipped with it to be most effective. Let's see what I can do. The bard lets me start my turn by drawing 3 extra cards and then discarding 1 card from my hand. I get to draw the 3 cards first, which means I can choose any of the 8 cards in my hand to discard. Let's get rid of one of these pesky goblins. I didn't draw a weapon card with my bard, but I did draw Mithril Armor, which you're already familiar with. I play Mithril Armor on my archer like before, which lets me draw 2 more cards. Thank goodness, I drew a weapon card to make my power attack stronger. The Claymore is a powerful weapon that requires 2 power-up cards to also be equipped on that hero in order to attack. I have the perfect hero in this situation because my Barbarian wants as many power-up cards as I can get. I play Claymore, which gives 6 power, Power Attack, which gives 4 base power and an additional 4 power because I have a weapon equipped, and all 4 power-ups worth 2 power each because of my Barbarian's special ability. This puts my Barbarian's total power at 22, which is almost enough to defeat a dragon. I was originally planning to use my archer to defeat an orc in order to purchase more equipment, but who would pass up the opportunity to defeat the strongest monster in the game? I had my Barbarian and archer attack together for a total power of 27, which is 1 more than I needed to defeat the dragon's 26 power. While I could technically choose to add the dragon to my XP bar, I generally encourage players to add dragons to your deck for glory. After all, the point of the game is to obtain more glory than the other players, and each dragon is worth 7 glory by itself. Now that a dragon has been defeated, or a stone golem if you're not playing with dragons, players are allowed to recruit a 4th hero to their teams. This will give you even more opportunities to kill the powerful monsters and gain glory. Once the last dragon has been defeated, the last round has been triggered, which allows any remaining players to take their turn to finish the round. At this point, the game is over. Each player adds up the glory value of all of their monster cards in their deck. Monster cards that are still in your XP area are not added to this total. The player with the most glory at the end of the game wins! I hope that this tutorial has given you a good idea of how our game is played. There are other examples of play on page 5 of the instruction manual, as well as a glossary of common terms on page 13. We've provided a more robust description of each card starting on page 7 to help clarify how a card works. Thank you for joining me today, and please enjoy Goblins and Glory.